Hey everybody, it's Allie. Welcome to my Y&R chat for Sunday, February 20th. There is a sucker born every minute. And Ronin Malloy played us all. I love this twist. I love it. I feel fooled. I feel used. I feel chewed up and spit out. That he would plan all of this from the very beginning is both unbelievable and at the same time it makes complete sense. From the moment that he got into town, he has been hostile and he's been screwing people over, and we've all just forgiven him. First it was Chance, then it was Chloe, shortly after followed by Heather, and now Nina and anyone and everyone else in Genoa City who has cared about him. He has screwed them all over in one form or another. He took their trust and just disgraced it in the worst way. And if it weren't for the fact that he needed a genetic match in order to get his liver, I would wonder if he was even really Nina's son. I mean, he could have faked all of his photos, all of his credentials. Anything about himself could have been faked. When I think back on it, to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if Ronin wanted Chance dead from the very beginning so that he could get his liver. When you look back on it, he was hostile to Chance right away. He came into Genoa City butting in on Chance's big police sting. Chance had everything under control until Ronin got up in there. And Ronin increased the danger of the situation. When you think about it, and it sure would have been a lot easier for him to get that liver in the first place over Chance's dead body. That would have saved him a lot of trouble. What a strange grift. For money, sure, happens all the time. For love, definitely. But for a liver, it's grody and greedy and twisted and unusual, and I love it. I have no idea if Ronin is going to testify now, if he's going to take the stand, testify against these bad guys. Now knowing that he is one, I have no idea if he's going to ultimately come face to face with the people in his life who he has hurt. I have no idea if he's ever even going to step foot in Genoa City again. As I have proven time and time again, I am not up to date on what's happening with the casting over at The Young and the Restless. But regardless, Y&R rocked me this week with this twist. I have a whole new perspective on Kevin and Chloe, and it's not all good. The sex was great this week. Don't get me wrong. The sex was definitely good this week. It was like blowing up this balloon with Kevin and Chloe. We've been blowing up this balloon, and there's been more and more air filling into it, and it just keeps getting bigger and more tense. And you get to the point finally where you're just hoping that somebody is gonna pop it. And Kevin and Chloe popped it this week. I get the impression that maybe they popped it a few times upstairs at the old glowworm. But Kevin said something to Chloe this week that really, really rang true for me, and it has changed my perspective on the whole thing. He said to Chloe, as they're arguing before they're having sex, he says, you know, the one constant in our relationship is me wanting you and you waffling all over the place. And it really rang true with me when he said that. I hate to admit it. But as flattered as Chloe is, I think, over Kevin's infatuation or love for her, I'm coming to the realization that maybe she just doesn't want him as much as he wants her. It happens. It's not a comfortable situation, but it happens, and I wonder if we're there, because I feel like, intentional or not, Chloe used Kane's death as an excuse to distance herself from Kevin. She used that as an excuse to put some space in between them. That's where she said, putting on the brakes. And watching her standing there in Chance's room, looking at him as he's lying in the bed totally helpless, and they're reconnecting for the first time, having a real conversation. She's looking at him and telling him that she's with Kevin now, and she's saying it as if she's trying to convince herself of it. Chloe wants Chance. Chloe never got over Chance. And now he's back. And I think that puts her in a totally different place. Totally different place. Chance and Chloe had a spark from the minute that he came into town. From the minute he walked in the door at the Chancellor house, he and Chloe were like, connect. And I wonder, what I'm wondering now, in a post-balloon popped world, I'm wondering if, for Chloe, the difference here is the difference between choosing someone who you know is safe and secure, or choosing the one who gives you butterflies. So if dying means that you're forced to wear all white, I think I'll pass, okay? If nobody else minds, I think I'll pass. Kane appeared to Lily this week as an apparition. Watching her sit alone in her bedroom talking to Kane as though he were sitting right beside her, was so spooky. Spooky. And empty at the same time. And Lily choosing to bury him privately, alone, without the rest of the family. This is a very new era. A new era for Lily, I think. And a new era for the Winters. Truly. It's, you know, I even thought that it was an odd choice that we saw, the viewers saw, Kane's memorial service in a series of flashbacks. It wasn't linear. It jumped around in time. It was different from any of the other memorial services that we've had, and it was almost like Y&R didn't want to dwell on it. They didn't want to stretch it out. They just wanted to quietly, yet solemnly, put him in the ground. And that's what they did. Tuesday's show was a very powerful show. Tracy and Lily had a talk that absolutely reduced me to tears. It's always a joy seeing Tracy, and seeing this interaction between the two women was so wonderful and so healing for me. Lily is in her bedroom, looking out the window, looking at the snow as it's falling onto the ground, and she's remarking about how beautiful it is, but how sad it is at the same time that it's fleeting. And Tracy is there to remind her that although the snow melts into the ground, it also springs forth life, and it, you know, becomes something new and beautiful in its own way, in a completely different way, and that it's okay to let go. We move on, we evolve on. I just thought that was very moving. And I also really identified with Lily telling Tracy that she's scared that she will lose her memories of Kane. And that's such a, I think that must just be such a common reaction to losing someone, because I feel that way too. Afraid that those memories are going to go away, and you don't want them to. You desperately want to hold on to them. And Tracy's response, I found a lot of comfort in also. It was so wise and loving, and she compared the loss of a loved one to having your memories change from being a close-up picture to a panoramic view. I just thought that was so poignant, so beautiful. And I also really felt like the visual aspect of the show was beautiful, stunning this week. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. Like, the snow is falling outside and Lily is alone in her bedroom, you know, looking out the window, and the window out of nowhere just blows open on her, and her face, you know, she feels it, and her hair blows back, and I was just really impressed with that visually. I thought it was very magical. And, you know, I just feel like it's important to keep this in mind. Every time we see a snowflake falling on the show, or a light coming in through a window, or a tree blowing in the wind in the background of a scene, or a dramatic shadow cast upon someone's face, remember that this show is filmed on a sound stage. It's easy to forget that, especially when you're a longtime viewer. It's just part of your life. You know, you don't notice these little things as much anymore, but I really appreciated this, you know, that this week. There is no ambient light on a sound studio. There is no wind. There is no snow. And it may just be because of my recent loss, but in these moments of Lily's grief, I just felt like everything, but just especially the show as a whole, had just a really great harmony. Nick has really found himself between a rock and a hard place. This week he had to witness Adam and Sharon's very public Valentine engagement, which was hard. That's hard on a guy. I mean, really. And now, on top of everything, the cherry on top of this cake, he's found out that his runner-up girlfriend, his second choice girlfriend, we all know it's true, is living and sleeping with his father. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling really sorry for Nick right now. For a little while, I hopped right on to the Nick and Diane bandwagon. I was like kicked back, letting my legs swing over the side. Woo! Bandwagon. But now I just completely feel like Nick, he needs somebody who knows what she wants. And if anything has become clear over the week, it's that that is not Diane. Diane does not know what she wants. I mean, it's not anyone's fault. Nick broke up with her last week. She broke up with him this week. I think it's very clear that Diane is life shopping right now. She's trying a few things on, seeing what fits, seeing what she's gonna keep, seeing what she's gonna return. In a way, I don't blame her. In a way, I just don't blame her. But I don't know. Nick had a really good conversation with Christine this week, in which he pretty much said the things that I have just said, that Diane is just looking to improve her lot in life. That's how he feels about her. But also, almost more significantly, I felt that he opened up to Christine quite a bit about Sharon. And, you know, he was very frank with her about his feelings for Sharon. He said, Sharon is impulsive. You know, she is impulsive and she makes a mess of things as a result. She does these things and then it all blows up on her. And I felt like that hit the nail right on the head. And who knows Sharon better than Nick? Sharon is impulsive and she has really made a mess of things. Can't be denied with Adam and with Faith. And I will add to that, now that Sharon has made such a colossal mess of things, she's struggling to justify it. It's all about justifying it. 100% of her focus is proving to everyone that she hasn't made this colossal mess of things when we all know that she has. Okay? Regardless of how I feel about Adam, and I like Adam, he has really dragged Sharon straight down with him. If it weren't for Adam, I can tell you right now, Sharon would not be being charged with Sky's murder. She would not have lost custody of Faith, and she and Nick probably would have been remarried by now. I mean, really, after after giving it some thought, I've just come to the conclusion that the perfect mate for Nick is Christine. It's gotta be Christine. It's not Diane, it's not Sharon. I feel like it's Christine because think about it. She's just like Sharon. Only with the other half of her brain too. It's like Sharon plus half a brain. And I feel like that would be a really good match for Nick right now. Now Victor, could he be any more transparent? Forcing his way into a relationship with Diane when it's clear that he doesn't feel a spark for her, she doesn't feel a spark for him. There's nothing between them. And he knows damn well now that Nick was sleeping with her. Victor just doesn't see reality. Victor has his own reality, and all he can see right now is Diane as an item that he wants to collect. A trophy for his mantle. That's all it is. And Diane even comes with a matching son. Come on, a ready-made family to replace the one that he has destroyed. It makes complete sense. It's as clear as day. As clear as day, you guys. Everything that Victor is doing is to try and hurt Nikki as much as she has hurt him. His ego was burned when she slept with that lowlife Deacon Sharp. She continues to see him, that she continues to see him in public, and that he has to have that constant reminder. It's clear that that's why now he's going to try to rub Diane in Nikki's face, rub Diane in everyone's face, because he believes that if he has this new ready-made family, that somehow in his mind it vindicates him from abandoning Nikki and alienating Victoria and patronizing Abby and her mother, and most recently letting Sharon go to jail for his crime. Okay, everybody, that's it for me for now. Leave me a comment. What are you thinking about this week's show? Let me know. Type it down. I'll be looking forward to it. Everybody, have a great week next week. Enjoy the show, and I'll be back next Sunday to chat with you about it. Love ya. Bye.